queens, you know.
Yeah,
Don't come for her.
I wasn't having that.
Yeah, don't come for her. Don't do it.
CP3. Go ahead, Birdman.
He had to clear his throat.
Yeah, let me clear my throat.
Yeah, because it's just crazy the way some folks decide to, look at it because of the statement that she made. It automatically says that she's canceling out the real, folks that are victims and helping aid them not coming forward. It's like everything is in a vacuum when someone speaks up and says something that you might not agree with. You folks want to turn it and make it like the most negative thing in the world and try to spin it to suit their narrative or whatever. So she made a statement on something that she believed in. That doesn't mean she should be stripped of anything. I mean, I thought that we had freedom of speech. She didn't disrespect anybody. She didn't call anybody out. She just made a statement, and that was that. And all of these, butthurt folks that want people to, lose their jobs and get stripped of this and get stripped of that. I mean, it's starting to get sickening, honestly, because it just sounds like a bunch of whining. And some of the racist folks be like, all they do is complain and whine. That's what our society is turning into now. And especially in the black community where they want to, point the fingers at, oh, the white man doing this or, yada, yada, yada. Well, you have control over your life. It's about making the right decisions and making the right choices and doing the right things. And for folks to just all try to, cancel out someone, or it's like, who are you to cancel anybody?
Tell them again.
I don't get it. Who cares if you don't watch their show anymore, or you don't think they're black enough, or don't think, who the fuck are you? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say you're being the best person that you are trying to be and the best human being? Yeah, because I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit lately.
The Michael Jackson man in the mirror.
You know what I'm saying? I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit, a lot of hypocrisy lately. I just got, in real life and the stuff that I'm going through, we on here having fun on the show, like everything happy go lucky, but we all have, trials and tribulations we going through.
Right.
Just like 151 said, he lost his, folks early in the week. I've been going through some struggles. Janice moving her firstborn is leaving the nest and going all the way down to Florida. So she's going through some traumatic things. Somebody probably gonna get stabbed sooner or later when she vents or something.
Why I gotta be
I mean, you just said your son was stabbing folks at 2 o'clock at 2 years old. So.
First of all, how you go from one thing to
called the segue.
Let's go in on Janet's day. I'm sorry, lady, and I call myself.
See, look at you. See,
like,
it ain't even me. See, I'm being
That's
here.
what we doing.
See, I'm just saying.
I feel so betrayed.
See, I'm just weaving it all together.
I was agreeing with you because I don't like the cancel culture either. But then you just kind of went in on me.
I mean, that wasn't going in. I was just, just letting folks know what's going on.
Folks.
I mean, you said your son was stabbing folks at the age of 2.
I said he cut another child with
How deep was it? How deep?
I mean, it was a little flesh wound, but still. I was appalled by my child's behavior.
But you couldn't beat him because that was your type of behavior too.
I think he inherited it from me, so I made his father address it and explain to him how wrong that was and reprimand him for that.
Hopefully he's not carrying blades.
No, but my daughter wants one.
I know she does.
For safety reasons, she little. She looks 12. She's grown. She'll be 20 this year.
Get her some mace.
I think my sister was talking about getting her a taser.
Yeah, too. 3 million volt taser makes somebody shit and piss on themselves.
Damn. Shout out to my man, Jamil Wanza, Cool Attention.
Hey,
DJ
Jamil.
Always watching, always supporting.
What's going on, fam?
Oh, he commented. What did he say?
Nah, what was his name and all the stuff that was going on through the 80s and stuff. He was just commenting like everything. It was putting pop time. It was putting pop time, shredder time, and like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that stuff that was going on. But
this cancel culture gotta stop.
This cancel culture has to stop, and
it's toxic.
I'm very disappointed in Janet, and I'm very disappointed in Howard, because she's not victim blaming. If a man has said he's innocent, and it is proven in court that he's innocent.
And here's the funny thing: some of these women who accused him, flat out lying. What's the lady? She's famous Janet. Yes, flat out lying. And some of the women, they were recounting situations, right? Incidents. And they were like, it happened on this day. I'm sure of it. This and that. Whole time, Cosby was like on the opposite coast performing in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in the public eye like that, it's kind of easy for him to explain where his whereabouts are. It's no digging up an alibi. Like, if this man had a performance on the other coast, when you're claiming he did something to you, clearly something's not right with your story.
In Janet Dickinson's own book, I think she described the triple where she was on acid and had sex with some famous person on acid.
Real talk, Janice is not the one to be you. Like, when she came out and said it, I was like, who? No. And I ain't believing not one bit.
I mean, not that we don't blame anything like that, but I mean, some people just got like, oh, really?
Right, because unfortunately, we have so many. The Me Too culture, you know, originally started with people speaking up. You know, when things were done wrong to them, and I appreciate and I commend the women who decided to speak up on things. But unfortunately, you have so many people that decided to take that movement and taint it. And they're making it even worse for victims to actually speak up because they're lying.
Because the thing is, they use it as a weapon.
It is. And, it has been used as a weapon.
And one of the examples I could tell you is this. Several years ago, there was a wrestler named Enzo Amore.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the WWE. And a female accused him of something.
Mm-hmm.
And off the break, because he didn't tell the WWE, they fired him.
Yep.
Then about 6 months to a year later, when the truth came out, he was actually innocent.
Yep. Happens often.
But he was actually fired from the #1 wrestling company in the world.
Yep.
So,
which is definitely not a good look.
It's not a good look, and then it makes it hard for you to go back because you feel like they didn't even give me a chance.
And that happens. And do you know how many black men across this country have had to deal with women scorn that are athletes, and they'll, you know, make claims, false claims against these men, whether it's sexual abuse, just physical abuse, things like that, and they'll come back and say, oh, I lied. But the man's life was already ruined. It's been so many times that we've heard this throughout history. It's so sad because where does that leave actual victims? Now people are like, well, did this really happen? And you got to explain yourself even more. You got to deal with people who don't really believe you because we've seen so many times where people lie. It's a lot of, and like I said, in the sports world, it happens way too often. From college on up.
Well, because folks know the repercussions of an accusation, especially if it's someone in the public eye, that is going to cost them money, going to cost them endorsements, cost them possibly their job. And unfortunately, people are spiteful in that way, and you know, it's crazy, but that's the way somebody's mind works in that situation. That this goes back to the conversation we were having last week about, you know, people being damaged and jumping from one relationship to the next and not fixing the things in themselves and always blaming others. And it just feeds into that mentality like, oh, I'm not good enough for you, so I'm going to find a way to make you feel the pain that you're making me feel, when it's actually the pain that you're bringing on yourself because you're not finding out why people don't want to be with you. You can't continue to say, oh, that person was messed up or that person had issues. You're the constant in the relationship. So it can't always be somebody else. Sometimes it got to be you. I know I had to, make that tough decision, look myself in the mirror, in the eyes, and see what I was doing to contributing to me being in these toxic relationships.
I'm so proud that you finally sort of admitting your faults.
Yeah, that's why I've been single for so damn long. But yeah, you have to You know what you can deal with, know who you are, and love yourself first. You can't expect someone else to love you and make you love yourself. If you can't love yourself, nobody else is either.
I'm so proud to hear this.
Yeah,
from because you never really,
I mean, I could show that side. Y'all always talk about the thug side, so I can't let my sympathetic side out. But it's rough out here for folks.
It's hard out here for a pimp. I heard you. It's hard out here for a pimp.
I was trying to rephrase where I was going. I was trying to rephrase.
I read between the lines.
Yeah, you kind of it's hard out here. It's hard out here for a young man trying to do right. You have all these deterrents and have all these other things going on in the world, but it's just to me to sit back and observe. That's one thing I love about getting older, that I've been through a lot of shit, so I can sit back and see other people going through it and see how they react to it. And unfortunately, folks just they're not mature, man. They don't think about the long term. They just react off of their emotion. And one thing I tell folks all the time, emotion will fuck you every time. Because it will, because you'll do something out of anger, out of spite in that moment. Yeah, but it'll cost you in the long run. Like go busting the windows or slashing them tires, and they get you on videotape. Next thing you know, you getting charges for destruction of property, and got a lawsuit against you and all this other stuff because somebody didn't want you.
But I'm gonna be real with you though, because I never make it a secret. I grew up a tomboy. A lot of my male friends are, they love them some women who's going to bust the windows. So you got to know what you're dealing with.
But I never understood.
So
you like the ratchet.
So
yeah, but they ain't never bust my window.
Let's to that real quick. So and even Jamel, he just posted, he said there was a girl that was mad that it didn't ruin his marriage, so she put his sexual assault. So she said he sexually assaulted her. And when he didn't get fired, she put his nudes online. Like
And I'm glad that there is a law now. The revenge porn, that's a thing now. Like you can get in trouble for revenge porn. So in male or female, it will come at you. They will come at you.
So you put up an interesting point. And I'm gonna tell you this from a man's perspective, and more important, I'll tell you from my perspective. In my younger days, toxic females were so much attractive.
Yeah.
Because we are, and we go through this, we have an idea of love is arguing, fighting, and throwing shit at each other. And for some reason, it's put in our head that is love.
Well, some people.
And
I'm about to say
And the thing about that is, at that time of my life, I was toxic. So,
but so you wanted someone to match your toxic, like
exactly.
Like you were talking about CP3. He telling a girl he got a pistol, and she like, oh, I got one too. We was like, oh, because you want somebody to match you. So if you toxic,
miss that girl.
But you got to remember who you with. I know.
They reminisce over you.
She was cool. She was cool.
I'm trying to tell you, she got your little 12-year-old down in Florida.
Crazy where I met her off.
You said what?
Crazy how I met her.
I'm about to say Black Planet.
Crazy.
Craigslist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You messing with Craigslist?
You was purchasing on Craigslist.
No, it was supposed to be the strictly for time.
I know.
Did you get my Backpage too?
I never had no. I found out about Backpage right before they shut it down. So I didn't.
Probably the reason why they shut it down.
So you didn't.
I was scrolling one night. Next thing I know, it was gone. The next day, I don't know what happened.
Because you came to the scene. They was like, nope, he CP3 here. Let's. No, they said I've used
several.
Cut this off.
Yeah, I've used several different platforms, but I never used Backpage. I've scrolled on there.
Was you on Plenty of Fish?
I never had no luck on there either. I was on there though.
I'm gonna tell you, I was on Plenty of Fish for a month, and I had to shut it down. I was like, this is a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, oh yeah.
First of all, I don't know why they think Plenty of Fish. They filed the company. They filed. Because you put your what you want, what you desire,
your preference, and you still get the ones you don't.
But everybody who was contacting me was like 5'2".
So I'll say like this:
Why are you laughing? I'm serious.
What you want, little man?
5'2", married, and it just like 17 kids.
Because it's basically a Thought Central now.
It was.
When I first started, it was.
It still. Well,
I was on it.
For a while,
yeah.
I was on I was on Plenty Fish. I never paid attention to it.
Okay, so for the guys, I heard there was a lot of people who pretended to be women.
I didn't even make it that far.
No.
One day, Plenty Fish was like, "Well, you'll get more activity if you pay."
Hey,
nigga,
oh yeah, I ain't never
nigga, we
paid.
dead. We dead.
But I had more than enough activity, not paying. So it was already too much. So I was like, if I pay, I'm gonna get more activity than this. Because that joint immediately started lighting up.
Yeah,
I guess because I had all my teeth. You laughing? I'm not joking.
Yeah,
and
I was
appear
on
to
there.
actually be a woman.
Yeah, I was on there off and on. I was on some other sites. Somebody told me about it. I jumped on there for a little while. I didn't really have no luck, so I jumped off of it. I went back on there probably about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. When I was going out of town, my man was like, you should get on that joint. There's plenty of joints around here. I was checking it out. Ain't really nothing that I really like, so I ain't really mess with it. But yeah, I remember the good old days back in the early 2000s.
Hey, CP3, you know what this means?
What that is?
Take a shot, nigga.
Man, I'm sipping on my what's that?
You don't even know what it is. That's bad.
I wasn't messing with that.
You wasn't messing with this?
Yeah,
why?
Because I know it's vodka. I told you, me and white liquor, I try to stay away from.
But it's dark.
I ain't gonna fool me. I ain't gonna fall for that shit again. Nah, I ain't got nothing.
It's dark. It's dark.
I ain't got nothing.
It's very special.
It's dark. I'm like the brandy that you want.
Vodka brandy.
It's brandy.
Mm-hmm.
French brandy.
Yeah, so it's not vodka.
It's dark.
I might try it after I finish this here.
Why you feel like you couldn't breathe?
Because it went up my nose again when I was drinking. That shit do that shit, man. At least it ain't 100 proof. But yeah, man.
Yeah, so
I miss them good old days.
What? What is he talking about? He missing?
He's talking about the social dating, the stuff.
You missed those days?
Oh yeah, in the early 2000s, I was racking up.
So,
now it's too crazy now.
I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy going on. Let's go play a couple of videos, and then we got to talk about the young lady in the Olympics and what's going on with that.
No doubt.
I'm surprised, CP3 didn't bring it up, but he knew we was going to talk about it.
I know we was going to talk about it later on. Yeah.
I think that was going to be the more meat and potatoes. Because I said different opinions. It's just a very long conversation. Bill Cosby, I think, was like cut and dry. Like honestly.
And we've been talking about him for years.
Yeah, and once again to wrap this up real quick first. He was freed because basically the stuff from a previous court case, the stuff they locked him up for, they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, the prosecutors did not do what they were supposed to.
They did not obtain the law.
There you go.
So they did not go by their own law.
And it's hard to overturn a conviction like that. Let's put that out there. It is. He had to go through such an appeal process.
The crazy thing is, a couple of months ago, they were trying to get him parole or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, I'm innocent. Mm-hmm. I will not admit to something.
No, they were trying to get him out because of his age, health, and because of COVID, because they were releasing people. They denied him. They denied him. Hey, they were releasing so many prisoners.
But they also did the thing when he was up for parole.
Yeah,
and they
wanted him to.
And they were trying to do parole, but he was like, "Yo, I'm not admitting that I did anything." Mm-hmm. And the thing was,
he's always maintained his innocence.
So he's always maintained his innocence. So he stood his ground, and it worked. And if he was white, we'd be having. One thing that did piss me off was there was one social site on IG and said, "We said free Britney, not Bill."
Okay.
So let me just tell you out the bottom of my heart. You might get banned for what I'm about to say. I don't give a fuck about Britney Spears. Period. Under any circumstance. We're not going to fake like the reason why Britney Spears didn't have control of her finances is because she didn't shave off her fucking head one day, took an umbrella and busted out a window. Y'all talk about crazy Kanye all day, but now we forgot about crazy Britney.
Britney was on drugs too.
Britney married her fucking backup dancer and lost custody of her kids to a fucking backup dancer. Like keep it 100 with the whole conversation.
Yeah.
So the reason why she wasn't in control of her finances, and not saying her father and them are great people, they could be cheating, but there was a rhyme and a reason why she wasn't in control, because she proved that she was. And sometimes getting fame and getting famous at such a young age is a lot for a person.
Yeah.
I remember Britney Mania, but let's be honest, we ain't talking about Britney Spears in fucking 10 years.
Well, and real talk, even now, I was following her on IG, and I don't know when I started following her. Apparently, I've been following her for a long time. And I had to unfollow Britney because all of her posts are very disturbing.
And I still think that she's suffering from mental illness.
No, it's not still. I think she is. And if you look at her recent posts on social media, and she, first of all, it's all in her eyes.
Yeah.
She don't look right. And I understand they do have her on a lot of medication. But she's like dancing and everything. First of all, I've never really thought Britney could dance. But she's like dancing and doing weird stuff, and her rants are long, and sometimes they don't make sense.
But you gotta think about it. When you come from the Disney Club to being the biggest star, and she had a great run.
Mm-hmm. She did.
And you come from being the biggest star, you're dating Justin Timberlake, all this other stuff. You go from the Mickey Mouse Club to the world stage.
Mm-hmm. And cancel culture tried to cancel him because of the song "Cry Me a River."
I love that song.
But that
beat is fire. Yeah, that beat is fire. Yeah.
But here's the thing: he was saying "Cry Me a River" because of comments that Britney made, and then also in an interview he apparently told everyone that he took her virginity.
And he probably didn't. She probably lost it to Mickey or Goofy or.
Well, he thought he did. That's the main thing.
Back
they
in
was on the Disney show.
Back in the day, Britney would have got it.
A man could have that she did the new Amanda Bynes. That could be true.
And that's my thing. So what about
And honestly, I think when I said fuck Britney, that may be a little extreme. I think she's suffering from mental health.
So you guys remember the actress that was on what's LL Cool J show?
Oh, you're talking
Maya
about
Campbell.
Yeah.
In the house.
Maya
Campbell.
So Maya Campbell, bipolar. She, was on drugs. She was bipolar too from Saved by the Bell. Yeah, but Lark actually kind of got it together. But with Maya, her support system was her mom. Her mom was trying to do the same thing, and her mom passed away, and she really spiraled out of control. So we see what happens when that's left unchecked. She has no money.
Exactly.
She don't even have teeth now.
Yes, I've seen pictures.
And she's dancing in gas stations.
And then she ran out.
Yeah, she running around naked. She is on all kinds of things. And we see what happens when people are left unchecked. And when you look at the picture of her and the prime of her career, and she was bipolar then.
Yeah.
She was just on her medications and everything. She looks almost like a completely different
person.
And so my thing is, if Britney's father did not step in, what exactly would have happened?
She'd be broke. And she'd be on the strip, and it'd be a worse story.
Or she might not be here.
And she might not be. It'd be a worse story.
Because let's be real, there is a famous singer who said they tried to make me go to rehab, but I said no.
Amy Winehouse, and I love that song.
And what happened?
She gone from us, and she was gone way too soon.
Exactly. So I see where fans are coming from, but at the same time, I don't.
Well, here's the thing: it's easy to say free Britney when you don't think about the whole story,
right?
And you have to have some type of guidance. I would say this, and I said it from a personal standpoint. Had I had the right guidance in my 20s, my 30s and 40s would be a lot different.
Yeah.
And all of us could say that to a degree, but we talking something.
But when you don't have the right people around you to put you back on space and to check you. Mm-hmm. If you don't got the right people around to check you and to put you in the proper place, you're going to go off the rails.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Like real talk.
And we saw her go off a little bit.
My mom is hard as shit.
Mm-hmm.
My mom will put me in my place and will tell me when I'm wrong when the world tells me I'm right. I remember going to New York and I had issues with my father, and I remember my Uncle Angel checked me and said, call your father. I was like, I'm not calling him. And he said, call him for me. All the stuff I do for you, call him for me.
Mm-hmm.
He checked me. And guess what? I manned up and I called my father when I was in New York. I used to go to New York and I didn't tell the nigga I was there.
Yeah.
You know, but I had people to balance me out.
Yep.
To when I was doing stuff that could have been very harmful.
And you need that. Everybody
we do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, with the whole Britney situation is there's a rhyme and reason why. Like, we just didn't wake up one day and was like, oh, Britney doesn't have control of all of her finances and all this other. Now, granted, there are many stories of parents. Gary Coleman parents who just took him, ran all his money away.
Yep.
And that's true. But there are also stories of people that just want to help you when you're out of control. We have witnessed many a superstar overdose. We've witnessed many a superstar self-medicate all the time.
And we see them diminish.
Yeah.
We see them, you know, we see these accidental deaths. We see these, you know, people that they actually take their lives.
I'm gonna be real. If they didn't have that what's it called? Control over her estate right now.
Oh yeah, her father. Uh-huh.
Britney will probably be dead.
Yeah, he has guardianship and everything. Like it's not a game.
She doesn't have you are at one time you were the biggest pop star in the world outside of Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
The only person above you is Madonna. And you don't have control of your estate and your kids. It's a rhyme and a reason for that. Because there's a lot of pressure in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of pressure.
And,
I mean,
I feel like it
I can
needed
say,
to happen.
I can tell you this, and real talk. We can act renegade if you want to talk on it. As an artist, it's a lot of pressure to do well when you have
Especially at that level.
A craft.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to walk into a crowded club, stadium, or whatever and do a bad fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because let's be real. If Britney does a bad job, guess what? It's gonna be the talk of the town.
So, how many times do we play a video of Michelle Williams doing very well? How many times we played a video of Michelle Williams falling on BT? Just saw it the other day.
What, her falling?
Yeah.
I mean, I love her, but at the same time,
it is. But just imagine that type of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And you fell, you with Beyonce and Kelly.
Mm-hmm. And they stepped over you.
You're not even calling them Destiny's Child no more. You with Beyonce and Kelly. Like, that's a fucking group. Like real talk. So the amount of pressure that like an artist feels is a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no one wants to go on stage and not be successful and not have a great show.
Right.
And not like shout out to I remember when she did that joint. She did that slave joint. She had the big ass. Nigga, I ain't touching a garden snake, so you ain't getting me to carry no motherfucking snake on MTV and all that other shit. Like, real talk. But they do.
It's the standards that you held to as soon as you make it to that point.
It is the standard.
It's like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had a bad show. It's the talk of the world.
It is. And that's a lot of pressure.
Yep. A lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
And it depends. That's what I'm saying. It depends on who you are, because a lot of artists don't have them standards.
A lot of them know how to perform, but that's
what
whole other time.
But we saying, like, at the end of the day, she was big at that level.
Yeah.
You have way more pressure. You know, there's gonna be pressure going on any stage anyway. But the stages that she goes on, I mean, come on now. She has to be perfect. Every single show, every single time, you have to be perfect. And how many shows has Britney done?
She had a residency at Vegas.
Uh-huh.
That was like a show every night.
Residencies, and before that though, You know, Britney toured the world.
Yeah, she did world tour.
She toured the world. She had videos. She was in studio. Think about how many times she had to meet a specific level. She had to maintain the level that she was at. So getting there is already bad enough, but then to stay there, that's a lot of pressure. And I understand that. And with her having mental, mental illness, yeah, that's a lot on you. And she cracked, real talk. That shaving her head and all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be real with you. Some people, I remember when it happened, it was right before she lost her kids. Some people say that the reason why she shaved her head was because they wanted her to do a hair follicle drug test. Now I don't know if it's any truth for that.
I don't know.
No.
But I mean, where I used to work, I'm not gonna name the name.
I will.
We did our I was heavily involved in the hiring process, and they did hair follicle drug tests to get hired. And I cannot tell you how many times we saw the people coming in, because I had to be the one to give them their paperwork so they can do their tests. And they don't find out. A lot of people didn't find out until the day they found out they got hired. Like, they're there for an interview and all that stuff. And they're like, okay, well, come back and get your paperwork for your hair follicle drug test. They're like, hair follicle? And when they come to me to pick up the paperwork, guess what? They were bald. I cannot tell you how many times I saw men coming in and one guy ain't even had eyebrows on him.
See, was that you?
No, I got in.
He got hired before I got there.
They got before the follicle. They just did the good old urinalysis back in the day.
Mm-hmm. But when they started doing that hair follicle, people were like, "What?"
Hey, man, you gotta know how to get by, man. There's certain things you can do. You got a young nephew.
You know what? I'm done.
I think that's mostly on it was a mental issue because
the
timeline it matched up too much because she just broke up with
but I think that it could have all been a coincidence.
2 week spans.
Right, but she also, his claim to get the kids was she was on drugs, she was irresponsible. Like, drugs was a part of it.
I mean, you gotta think about it like this.
But they both did drugs.
And she was probably self-medicating from the drugs they had her on.
He knew what his claim was going to be because they had the drug test.
Yeah, I mean.
So let me shout out to Jamil, because he was like, you look at Mariah Carey for his performance on TV. It went bad in front of front page news. But with her, I think it was probably because when you have that much money and that much fame, you think about it like this. If you gotta do certain things and you have anxiety and stuff like that, you can't sleep. Like, the night before the show, I'm gonna be honest with you, the night before the shows, like, I'm not, when I did perform, I couldn't sleep. When I was promoting shows, I really couldn't sleep. Even like Renegade shows, it's more
that ain't sound like fireworks.
Yeah. So much people outside.
Cousins out there.
Mine is at home. I should have bought it with me. Sound like.
Wait, what happened?
Huh? Maybe I should have bought it with me.
You gonna say it again?
But like even before Renegade shows, like I even if I sleep, I'll sleep for about like 4 hours and wake up and I would just be up. Right? He can tell you on most of the, like, when we do the out of town show, I'm up and dressed and the show ain't till 1 o'clock.
It be like that.
But what it is because the anxiety of what we need to do, I gotta make sure I don't forget this. I gotta make sure it's. And then just imagine that as an artist.
And at the level that Britney was, because it's not, if you go
and that's another thing. So like we were just in ATL, right? Renegade drove down and Renegade most of the drive. For the show, there's 3 of us. It's me, Renegade, and my younger brother. When we get ready for the show, I'm up early. Renegade's up early. My brother sleep like a motherfucker. Because he doesn't know what we're going through, and we don't talk about. You ready? We just get everything ready.
Yeah.
But like we're up early. Like we'll see each other maybe like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. The show. Keep in mind, the show is not till 1 or 2. But from the time we wake up, we plan it. We gotta get this. We gotta go boom, 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 and everything from making sure we eat before the show, making sure to everything is like almost, and it's a lot of anxiety through the show. And then if you're running late for the show, it's a lot of anxiety for running late.
Stressed.
Yeah, it's
stress.
Insanity is tested.
Indeed. And
some people can handle it, some people can't. And I think Brittany was one of those people that really couldn't handle it.
well, see, at the same
especially
time,
at the height of her fame.
right? I was gonna say a
that
lot
was
of people wouldn't be able to
that
handle
was
that type of
what
stuff.
she was. Yeah.
Because real talk, that one documentary style thing that Beyonce did when she was recording, she let it be known she went through.
So let me and I'm glad you put that. I remember watching it was a joint for Beyonce. She was doing a video. The video she was like when she first started going solo, and she was doing it in the sand, and she was doing like the little flip with a roll around in it. Dog, I remember her practicing that. I watched the video. She did that part like fucking 100 times until it came. That right there, like that dedication is one, it's not normal. But two, it's not like you gotta have that type of dedication to be successful.
Right.
So there are things that there's different levels of different things. And her level of commitment is highly stressful and it's not. So I've seen Renegade, right? And this is something I've never done on the artist. I've seen Renegade record a song Friday and want to perform it on Saturday. Yeah, I was never about that. Nigga, if I record a song on Friday, you may get that shit 2-3 months from now.
But see, here's the thing with that.
But he'll know it word for but
he'll know it word for word. But you gotta also understand this. From in between the time that you're talking about for yourself and now, things are faster. Fast paced. You record a song now, the song might drop 3 hours later. People release songs in the middle of the night that they just did. And you're like, wait a minute, because it's so fast paced. So now the pressure is even greater to produce
and
certain levels of work.
But
it's more pressure. I say it's more pressure on me to do stuff like that because I grew up in the era when it was slow.
Yeah.
So me doing that is out of my element. I gotta readjust and figure out how to do it.
You got to.
But so like the first time he did that, I was like, yo, nigga, you sure? Yo, you sure? Let's do the other job. Nigga, I'm trying to talk the shit out of here. Like, let's do the other job. Be bending on. He's like, I'm ready for the job.
Right, because that's how this industry is. Like we were talking, we talk all the time about how this younger generation, they'll do a song, the song is hot, right? And then they just want to dismiss that song forever.
Yeah.
And we like, nah, you build off of that. But that's how the music industry is now.
Definitely.
And I have a nephew who also does the same thing. I remember he had this one song on Spotify and I loved it. I saved it and I had it on my little playlist and then the song was gone. I said, why you take it down? Oh, I'm sorry, Auntie. I got other stuff on it out. Yeah, but I like that song. And like I had to explain to him, your fan base may have a favorite song.
Like real talk, if I actually released all of Renegade's unreleased material, then we have a double album.
But here's the thing: the way that this industry is now, it's so fast paced. You have to produce
something
quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the funny thing. I was looking at something and I didn't realize Trey Songz released 3 albums in 2020.
Didn't know that.
3. Raheem DeVaughn released more, and he's already released like at least 2 this year. I'm like, that's back in the day, that was so unheard of.
It was. I think, but once again, it's the pressure of music. I mean, like I said, as an artist, he can tell you.
Like, just for like example, what she just did, that was my favorite song. Why did you take that down? As an artist, I'm like, dang, that's pressure.
Yeah, but
at a higher level, that drives you nuts. So you go crazy.
But that's the thing. You, as an artist, you thinking from one perspective. But you have to actually think from two perspectives. You have to also satisfy your fan base.
So the pressure.
And that's what I'm saying.
So real talk. You know, Fonzo was just here, and the first thing he said to the Renegade is that money joint. Me.
Yeah.
So you know how many songs we've done since Money?
Right. It don't matter because
But
to your fan base, that might be their favorite song ever.
so real talk. We went to Atlanta, and salute to my boy G. Joe is my man. 50 grand. He actually helped pay and set up the money video. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much he loved the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like real talk. I remember when we got to Atlanta, I was like, yo, you're not doing Money now. He was like, man, I think you should do Money. I think you should do Money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just crazy to me because he's still on that joint.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
Because that's his favorite song. That's why.
Nigga. and don't get me wrong, because if he'd have did Money, he would have turned that motherfucker out. He still turned it out without doing it though.
Right. But here's the thing. Take a step back. Okay. Have you ever gone to a concert, right? And the artist did hit all your favorite songs from back in the day, right? And then they hit their new song. And you like, I ain't feeling that joint. But you was partying off of all their old stuff. Now take that concept. Imagine that artist getting up on stage and never hitting any of the old songs that you partied with and hit all their new songs and you ain't feeling none of them.
Okay, that's true. So, let's see. Jamil just asked he want that new Renegade to drop. So
Yeah.
I'm about to have to play a Renegade song.
And there you
I'm
go.
about to put a flyer up for when we gonna be in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We take a little break. So I know TP3 is itching to do something on the side.
Yeah.
CP3.
I think Renegade is peer pressuring in the nigga.
Yeah. No, I'm just glad I got all my feeds up now. Now I finally got my technical stuff figured out. I was trying to figure out what happened.
Like after he got his little technical stuff, I feel like he started guzzling alcohol.
Because I had me stressed out. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like,
Oh, the pressure.
yeah, the pressure trying to stream live, baby.
You lady, that nigga was drinking in silence.
Hey, I was like,
He was so stressed out.
because I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Now.
I don't like when my stuff don't work, man. It was having me stressed out. I was like, hey, I was like, what the hell is going on? My people trying to see me. I gotta be right for my people. Yeah, take another sip. Shit, had to calm my nerves down.
But look, now you want to drink, huh? Any other time you blaming us for trying to be bad
There's
influence.
certain other things I can't do on the air, so I'm gonna just keep on drinking my drink.
You ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Now he gonna blame us.
You gonna blame us?
I'm drunk. It's y'all fault.
It is y'all fault. We ain't cut the commercial quick enough.
He said they looking at them like,
Y'all know what time it is.
Nigga looking at like, what is this gonna take a commercial?
And we got some videos coming up soon.
Right?
Got a commercial or something. Somebody tap dancing.
Tap that.
They can't see you.
Yeah, we got our flyer.
I don't know what all that was. I had to reboot and shut
CP3
down
moving his
everything.
head all around.
Yeah, because I ain't, man, I don't know.
They're from the pressure.
Yeah, because I ain't even really used my laptop all week. That's why I'm trying to figure out why I had to go through all of that to get it back running on my streams.
So, they roll, huh?
I was interviewing him.
Okay, that's what I thought.
No.
Okay.
I told her, like, you know, we come through. And then when I saw how she was acting, oh, no. I wasn't asking her, but she was going to make it carry us. I hate to carry a female for their man. Like, yo, look, shut the fuck up.
She probably know. I was like,
I see when she came in, she was like, I'm so glad you're here. I welcome you to the show.
she was talking to me. I said, I'm happy with book.
Yes. I can see lady into this turn around. You not see me just walk through the door. I don't know. I'm in this bitch. Yeah.
I was like, come over there.
Let's rewind.
Oh no, that was 2 weeks ago. But whoa, whoa, man, that man. And we kept
Oh.
That's what I told him when you left.
Cause they were talking, I was like, what? I got so big.
The only reason I ain't really violating him is that I'm gonna take 2 reasons. I'm gonna take it in 2 reasons. One, at the end of the cutting me off. And then 2, that was your man. So I ain't gonna go.
You saw I ain't say shit. I was just like,
You was quiet. Hold on, my mom, but if you watch the show every week, right? He hit me up. He said, "Hey," he said, CP3 was real quiet because he worked with him. That makes sense. Man,
I was like,
there was a couple times I was like, "Bro, I understand what you're saying." He was like, "Nah, I disagree." Okay.
I mean, when he started trying to debate me about the whole Tupac thing, I was like, nigga, I lived through that shit. Like, cut that shit out.
bro, my brain was
Yeah, he looked at me like,
But he was like, I think Tupac was pretending. I said, no, we telling you. No, he didn't pretend.
he was like, nah, the white people portrayed him as that. I was like,
No, that's what he really did. Tupac shit.
I think God is this Messiah, like, yo, like, I'm trying to understand, but
I was trying to bring him back so many times, and he was like, no, I don't want to go back. I was like, you know what, I'm done.
I was over here like,
he's vicious. He was vicious.
That baby was
He
gone.
was good content.
Mm-hmm.
But I go back and look at that, like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's like when Soulja Boy was like, I've been at this first, and now everybody on the wave.
But here's the thing, he contradicted himself, and I caught him.
Yes. Oh my God.
he cut this up a lot of times.
But it was real big. Like,
Oh yeah.
he said Tupac was the Black Panther because of his mother. And I said, but you sitting here saying you're not a Bible thumper like your mother. So why Tupac got to be a Black Panther like his mother? I'm confused. So you can have the ability to be your own person, but Tupac don't. Oh, okay. This used to be, Black used to be my song. That's why I really like it. Man. Man. Oh boy was gone.
From another planet.
Man. I hope he don't be at work talking like that. He better not be.
Oh no.
But he knew. He was like, nah, I ain't gonna say
Tell me that shit while I'm trying to buy a car. Hey,
Look, one by one, he was excited. He was like, nah, go ahead, say what you got. I was like, uh-oh.
I wanted to say something so much. He's like, yeah, the media. And he's like, Jay-Z song 666. I said that was in the media. People media made that up on YouTube. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I want
It's like you just contradicted it.
Let me get some more tea.
I'm done thinking.
That good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I had to stop thinking. I had to just stop thinking about what you're talking about. Just say okay.
Y'all get some cherries. I'm trying to tell you, I would eat that whole bag by myself. I mean, I got problems. Them
I'm just
cherries
saying.
are addictive.
I'm just saying. I was encouraging because the kid was
That was so wrong. What was like, nah, go ahead. Nah, say it. Like,
Dave was like, come on my show. I was like, you wanna watch my Dave show?
There's no lie.
Yeah, cool.
He's like, oh yeah, I got you good, brother. Oh no, he not.
Talk about God and shit, but it's all just like hard. Yeah, he was talking street shit. I was like,
Yeah, but he said he was a religious,
he was a Christian rap, like not Christian.
but yeah, he not Christian.
Oh no, shit.
But then he didn't even know the Bible. There's a couple things I said to him, and he didn't know what I was talking about. I was like,
I purposely did not go to the bottom. I don't break it down.
but no, if I say take little stuff, and I know you don't know what you're doing.
Hey, he wasn't even supposed to be. He just came over. He was supposed to just come over and watch. He said at the interview, he said he was a spiritual rapper and he was a father. Yeah. He was just coming over because I got a deal off of him the day before, so I like come through. I can throw some food in the grill. I was just looking out. I was just looking out for because I got a deal.
You brought the devil in the house.
Hey,
He interviewed him.
Yeah, he was just supposed to be watching. He said we're gonna interview him.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
I'm talking about what he said. He was talking about the realm of the devil.
Yeah, he was. First of all, before we cut the cameras on, he said, "Are you ready?" He was like, hey, "Some people say they're ready and they get in front of the camera." He was talking over. When the camera cut on, he started stuttering. I was like, he wasn't stuttering before.
That's why I asked you was he ready.
That's his first time being on it. That's his first time being interviewed, I think.
That might have been when I said, asked you, did you cut the mic? Remember you hadn't cut it at first? Okay, we good now. I saw the text late. I told you I didn't watch. I didn't tell you. I take a pay cut, niggas gon' really gon' rise. Niggas gon' really niggas just pay attention. No, they didn't. When you first did what? Why he said him here? It might be a delay. Yeah, he said he can't hear now. Oh, he said it might still. No. Yeah.
You ready to come back?
He ain't ready.
Yo, so that's that new Renegade. We ain't put it out on digital platforms yet. Let me tell you something. He tore that motherfucker down at ATL. He had these niggas screaming, "We outside." We were still inside the building. I thought these niggas was confused.
They may have been. A little bit.
Yeah, I hope to be at a performance down in Miami. I would love to see him rock the crowd live. I've seen the videos, but I would love to be there for a live show and, you know, get any trickle off groupies you got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can tell you a Renegade story about the group.
But let's back up a little bit. You what?
A trickle off. He can only take but so many, so there's going to be some that he can't take, and I hope to get the trickle off effect.
Here's the problem. You said all these things about, you know, watching the performance, which is good.
Yeah.
But it always got to be something.
I mean, Miami. You know, last time I've been to Miami, and I had a girlfriend the last time I went to Miami, so I didn't get a chance to cut up.
You?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well,
she.
there you go. Here we
well,
go.
I mean, she brought a female to the party, so you know, it wasn't like it was just me and her. But you know, you can never choose when you're in a situation like that. Yeah, I mean, in those situations with threesomes, I don't know, guys know. If whatever girl you pick is never going to be the right one, so you always let her pick, which is a good thing because as long as she has good taste. But
and it helps because she's comfortable.
Yeah.
With the person.
But the guy usually never gets to choose except for like on special occasions like my birthday, and I got to choose one time. So.
But see, also with you, I feel like if a female allowed you to choose, that she might be allowing the enemy into her realm.
No, because we'd have to agree on. I wouldn't just say, "Here, all right, let's go."
Right, but where'd you get her from? That's the question.
Yeah, that's why I say I would rather her choose because a woman is way more picky than a guy.
It's not even about picky. It's not even about picky. It's the history between you and that woman. That's a lot of times that's the reason why the man doesn't get to choose, because on top of that, you know, that woman knows you, but not the girl.
No, we would be all like random.
Right? Oh, you bringing random thoughts. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
you know, we did that a couple times. Best friend. It depends on the female.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
it does. It depends on the female. Why? Different consequences come for different people. Certain things.
Consequences.
Yeah, different things hit. Yeah, like, different things hit people differently when you do them. So you have, like with me, I go for the jugular. I don't just go to.
Why do you have to do that?
To prove that you shouldn't fuck with me in the first place.
Why don't you just leave the relationship?
Because I'm not a quitter.
I'm not a quitter.
No, I mean it wasn't necessarily a relationship.
But why can't you leave and just be enough punishment for her? That might be a big punishment.
Yeah. Not to get off topic, but I can hear these niggas got the cheap ass dollar store fireworks.
Oh yeah, you know.
It sounds like raindrops.
They look like the little sparkly kind.
It's like somebody spraying the water hose with some plastic.
You need to be in the heart of the city, because that's where the best fireworks are.
That's when you hear the doom.
I don't celebrate this day. I celebrate Juneteenth.
No, but real talk. Juneteenth, 4th of July, New Year's, it don't matter. They will shoot some fireworks. Any opportunity.
Yeah, it's something else.
See, I used to bust my joint, but now my ammunition costs too much. I'm not shooting it off. I'm not wasting ammunition.
The way it sounds, it's really kind of perverted.
Right, but whole time, let's back up. So the reason why you're not shooting your firearm, okay, and shooting bullets into the air is not because it can hurt somebody. It's because the ammunition is too expensive.
I got some special hollow.
Not because it's illegal.
They're illegal.
Huh?
For security.
Listen, shooting your firearm into the air is illegal.
Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah. But using your ammunition for
and it can hurt somebody.
Yeah, but if you have an intruder, I would rather use it on that than shooting in the air.
I'm saying to you, okay? Shooting it into the air is illegal and it can hurt someone. That should be the reason why you're not doing it, not because the ammunition costs too much.
Well, that could be like
let me throw you a life round. Okay, so you sent the post. Then I'm gonna let you open the door and segue that, because obviously you're drowning. And baby internet is doing bricks at you.
No, I'm just saying, you know, I used to bust off, you know.
First of all, stop saying that.
That's what we used to call it.
But right now that means something different.
Well, we used to do both of them.
Can you go into the post?
Which post, man? I didn't post.
The one that you sent us about the runner. That you said you wanted to
about Sha'Carri Richardson.
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri. Let me make sure I get that right. Everybody knows by now about her, you know, having a positive drug test for marijuana in her system. She said, you know, she's mourning the passing of her mother, which I totally can relate to. And she's been suspended, 30 days, which coincides with the Olympics in Tokyo and her having the world record time running 100 meter. And
fastest woman in the world.
And as a result of her having that positive test, that record gets wiped off the books. And along with the race being taken in the time that she's suspended, she will not be allowed to run the 100-meter race, but it looks like her suspension will be up in time for possibly, I believe she should be running a 400 relay, which I believe is the anchor leg.
Yeah.
So you had, you know, a lot of folks were upset about the suspension, about her not being able to race. But for one, the state that she was smoking marijuana in was the state where marijuana was legal, and you know, for them to put the suspension in effect so quickly, as in when you had Michael Phelps, who wasn't actually popped with a dirty drug test, but was captured video and pictures of him smoking weed. They kind of delayed his suspension, so it kind of coincided during the off period of the Olympics and the World Championship, so he was still able to compete in those events, and none of his records or anything was taken off of the books. So I can understand, folks seeing a difference in it. You have some folks who don't see it. My opinion, it's bullshit. I mean, weed is not a performance enhancing drug. I don't care what the Olympic folks say. Most of the major sports have loosened up the rules against smoking marijuana, and some of those rules are outdated, need to be changed, and for them to even have it listed as a performance enhancing drug is ridiculous. All it's going to do is make you get the munchies and want to watch TV. That's about it. It doesn't surprise me. It's sad that it's to this account that's going to take this young lady, from possibly doing something great in the Olympics, and that's what she's been training for so long, probably her whole life. But as she said in her interview, she's just like everybody. She's only human. She's just faster. So it is what it is. She's taking it in stride. I haven't seen anything, negative coming out of her. She's taking responsibility for her actions and, said what it was, and she's not backing away from it. Unfortunately, it is what it is with the Olympic Committee and all of that BS, but what can you do? What can you do?
Well, I have a few different points to make.
Sure.
Number one, it's not in her best interest to speak out against it right now. Partly because it's a rule she knew about, a rule she's always known about, and a rule that she did not abide by. You train really hard to do something to make it to a certain level of success. You should protect that at all costs. So it was very irresponsible of her. If they told you not to take aspirin, you shouldn't take aspirin because that's the rules. Unfortunately, when you are dealing with a situation like that, and like if you're a football player and you smoke weed and you know that this is the penalty that I'm going to deal with, you have to be responsible with your actions. Marijuana is not legal federally, and even though it was legal in the state that she was in at the time, it does not mean anything to her career in sports and track and field. Like I said, that's a rule that they put into place, and if you want to, be competitive in that sport, you do have to abide by those rules. With that said, as far as Michael Phelps is concerned, I feel like, first of all, Michael Phelps was looked at as a golden boy. And I feel like there were a lot of rules that were changed or bent for him in general. But if I'm not mistaken, his suspension was longer. But like CP3 said, it was definitely timed different. They definitely, like I said, bend rules for him. Like if that's was their golden boy. Here we are. We know that in track and field, who handles track and field? Who is dominating track and field right now?
I would think black people.
Okay. With that said, she broke a new record. She got a lot of publicity.
She broke a new record, but she's swagged out.
Yeah, she's very cocky. I mean, I can't say she doesn't have that right to be. She's literally the fastest woman on earth right now, So, and I think it's funny that, like what CP3 said, marijuana is not performance enhancing.
It's not.
It's not. It's just a drug that they look at it as a drug. It's, in my opinion, it's not a drug.
Yeah, but it's a class 2 narcotic.
It's a plant.
I mean, class 1. That's crazy.
It's a plant. We all know that, okay? I'm not even a smoker, and I will tell you, it's a plant.
That's what makes it even worse. But that's what makes it even worse, in my opinion, because it's about politics and not actually about being what it's supposed to be about.
Right.
And performance enhancing drugs that make the athlete better at what they're doing.
Right.
And we all know that's bullshit. So that's why I'm like, it's all politics, so it's none of it's fucked up.
Nonetheless, she does have a responsibility to follow the rules in the sport that she chooses to compete in.
But
whether or not it makes sense, if you break the rules in the sport that you're competing in, you can definitely face a penalty. Now, with that said, when you factor in the Michael Phelps thing, I feel like if that's what you're going to do, you need to do it across the board. Whether I agree with it or not, the Olympic Committee, if they set forth rules, that's the rules they set forth. You can either abide by them or not. If you want to compete and you want to make it through, you want to be successful in that sport, and you want to compete, you have to follow a certain set of rules. And we all know that at the Olympic level, that's top notch.
So
that's top notch.
So how do you feel about the swim cap rule that they denied the African Americans from wearing swim caps in the swimming now?
That's another thing. It's
bullshit.
Right. Whether I agree, that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I get
Whether
it.
I agree with it or not, because we're not necessarily talking about. I mean, the rule was already in place.
Yeah, but my point is, if it's a rule, it doesn't mean that it's right.
I didn't say it was.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean is null and void because they're choosing to emphasize this bullshit.
Right.
But when it's really not anything wrong or illegal with it, but because of a rule that was put in place decades ago when it was the devil's lettuce and you will strip down and do crazy things and you know all of the stigmas that came with weed back in the day in the 50s and 60s, some of those policies are still in place. And yet and still we update our fucking iPhone 11, iPhone 12 every year, but we don't update these fucking laws and bylaws that's on the books that we know are asinine and wrong. And then when they enforce them and someone be like, hey, this is bullshit. Well, it's the rule. Well, slavery was legal back in the day. I don't mean the shit was right, but they still enforced the shit and you still got killed or beaten even if it wasn't right. So like some of this shit,
two different conversations though.
But it's all about what's right and wrong and not about what's black and white in some fucking book. We know they're extenuating. Her mother passed away. So that was her way of coping. Some motherfuckers sniff coke, some go cry on a pillow, some go run 5 miles. That's was the way she decided to cope because she was going through an emotional distress. Right. Now, when she ran up into the stands and went to go hug her grandmother, everybody was loving her the day to day, boom, boom, boom. But when she had to cope, that was the way she coped after the race. Right. So the way she coped with her mother's death was by smoking a joint that didn't hurt nobody, that didn't make her faster, that didn't do anything that anyone else hadn't done, but because she's the fastest person in the world, she needs to get penalized for it.
No.
It's hypocrisy and bullshit.
That's not the reason why she was penalized, because she was the fastest person. That's the thing. The problem is that, first of all, when she smoked, she knew that it could be on the line.
Yeah, she's not tripping about it. She's taking it. She's cool. Tripping. But I'm just saying the fact that it's bullshit.
Is more upset about it than she is.
Because it's bullshit. It's more bullshit.
I think it sheds light on something and that's what I was trying to say.
So can I say something, CP3? So one of the things like this, we interviewed at my job. We interviewed like 6 people, right? 4 people couldn't pass the drug test. Nigga, I work at a hospital. What do you think we gonna do?
Yeah.
So, one, she's admitted to what she's done.
Yeah, she's saying
and in my eyes, you know, a person, and most of the people that come past drugs because of THC. So, to me, that's not a big deal. However, the company is not that I work for is not named, you know, at the bar Joaquin Bell Enterprises. So, to some other motherfuckers, it is a big deal.
Yeah.
And granted, I need these people because I'm slaving. And it's just one of those things where we have to work within the guidelines.
Yeah.
I will commend her for admitting her fault in this.
Yeah.
Now, we can't always blame the system when we have faults.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, she did what she did. But I'm just saying, just the whole process of what's going on it makes no sense. I understand it's the law and it's the rules, but it's bull.
You disagree, but it makes a lot of sense because if that's their rules. Right. If my rules for you to participate in this is for you to not do this, and this, and then you do one of the things
I told you not to participate.
That's your choice.
Yeah, but just like in the gymnastics, If the girl's bra strap comes out of her genitalia, that she does a fucking triple, whatever, it's a point deduction.
That's the rule.
I understand, but it's a stupid rule, but it's a rule.
It's a stupid rule,
but it's their rule.
But that's the point.
But
if it doesn't make sense,
it doesn't.
CP3.
So why are we enforcing it if you know it
it's
doesn't
a
make
stupid rule
sense?
to you, and by your standards, not by the governing bodies who govern that sport.
Yeah. So what is the downfall because she does a difficult exercise, a difficult move on the floor,
that's what I'm saying.
and something comes out a piece of garment? That's
listen. If you,
I'm just arguing the logic of it.
If you know that this is a rule, right? You know, smoking weed is a rule in this particular sport, okay, or at this level, okay, and you want to participate, you know you can't smoke weed.
Yeah, I'm not debating that fact.
The
fact that I'm debating is we know it's a bullshit logic behind the rule, so why don't we get rid of the rule instead of punishing? I'm talking about the governing bodies.
Right, but that's what
this is a different time from this is why this is
but that's not an American, that's a world.
I know this is my same argument with the Constitution.
But see, because weed is something in America doesn't mean it's something all over.
No.
Other people look at it different.
The point that I'm making is
we in America do not accept it because marijuana is still illegal on a federal level. Each state now has the choice to make it legal in their state, but across the board it is not legal.
That's the point that I'm trying to make with the bullshit of this country. We are the only country that still runs our constitution and our government based off a document written in the 1700s. Every country has a constitution that gets updated, that they get better with rewrite.
Do have amendments.
And when was the last time we had amendments? 19 what? But we're still running our government and still getting laws for shit that's outdated. That's why they still had a Second Amendment argument about gun control in case the government tries to overthrow the citizens. That's when they didn't even have a fucking army, when they had militias.
Yeah.
So that shit needs to be taken off the books and new laws. That's why they had these loopholes, like the tax laws and the loopholes is getting some of these criminals off because they haven't updated the fucking laws. But we're so-called a great nation, but we're still running our shit based on documents written in the fucking 1700s when shit was by candlelight and motherfuckers didn't take baths because they thought soap was dirty. This is how we're running our fucking country.
Like that,
but that was the laws and that was the thought process back then.
Show people how
but I'm talking about the French motherfuckers that was in it over here and English motherfuckers that over there. They thought that soap was dirty and shit, but they still were the aristocrats.
When did the Olympics start?
Back in, I don't know what. I don't even really like the Olympics.
I'm about to say the Olympics is the oldest.
Yeah, I don't even like the Olympics,
man.
So it's like that's the whole. I understand it's the rule. All I'm saying is some of these rules need to be taken off the books because they're bullshit.
Well, let me go back to the point I was trying to make. It's funny because you said it was not a performance enhancement drug. We know it's not. Yes. With that said, it actually does the opposite in your lungs. And this chick, with her weed smoking self,
broke the world record.
Everybody.
She should get a medal for that.
Made everybody look stupid because her lung capacity was not exactly like how everybody else's was. I just wanted to make that.
That's kind of, she should get an extra bonus for being able to break the world record and
so
be a smoker.
No. You can't have it both ways.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She should get extra credit. No, I'm saying she should get an asterisk by it and say weed smoker by that motherfucker.
You don't want to get punished, but you want to get an extra bonus because she smokes.
I mean, because we know it's not a performance enhancing drug.
No, nigga.
I can understand if it was making her faster.
You cannot have it. You can't have it, nigga. This is not Burger King.
We make you slow, man. That shit is
crazy.
I'm just saying, if we gonna go crazy, let's go all the way crazy. Fuck it, we can go upside down world because it don't make no fucking sense, man.
Extra bonus though, nigga.
Hey, man, like I say, like with Michael Phelps, you gotta take your hat off. He was high and swimming and shit. What nigga gonna get high and go swimming?
I'm about to say,
you know what I'm saying? Hey, this thing was breaking world records. You know what I'm saying? He should have got an extra medal for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So you want me to get extra bonus?
I mean, when you doing something like track and field, you fucking right. How you gonna throw a javelin and you high? You might kill somebody, dog.
So what happens if you smoke crack and you got a gold medal or bronze?
If you smoke crack, you a bad
motherfucker. Not seeing the crackheads run. But
is it in the straight line though? That's the question. The 100-yard dash is straight, not going across the motherfucker.
Look, they still hoping they're gonna zigzag and still gonna get there faster. That's the performance enhancing drug you cannot do. Crack.
Have you ever taken a crackhead with your VCR and that nigga still out running?
Guess what? Guess who's not gonna chase him? I ain't stupid.
Like this nigga.
I'm gonna be so winded.
Yeah, I ain't know.
Like nigga fast as shit.
I was like, I got renters insurance. I can give me another one. Fuck that.
I need a gun. I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker.
Right, that's what you gotta do.
You wouldn't even want to shoot him because he's throwing a VCR. You want to shoot this nigga because he made you run.
Right.
Like this
Man.
Got me on.
Yeah, I ain't never.
For nothing.
I ain't never taken
like
crack.
Ice-T in the Law and Order shows. He be getting mad at them.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
made me run.
Yeah, you damn right. I don't like that shit either.
Of course you gonna agree with Ice-T.
Yeah, I don't, man. I used to hate running during football practice. I hate running now, man. Like you should jog in the morning time to make you feel good.
Okay, I got okay.
That don't make me feel good.
So my man Quentin Tension asked a question. He said, "Do you think her outing of the Olympics allowed them to increase the advertising because she will face the Jamaican girl in the Diamond Track League?"
I mean,
anything is possible.
I mean, here's the thing. She got positive recognition, right?
Yeah.
And she was what some people consider a little ratchet girl with her little weave, blonde hair, long nails.
I mean, people
all cocky.
Honestly, people were mad because she pointed to the joint as she was whooping everybody's ass.
I mean, that's her personality. But I feel like if that wasn't enough for them to talk bad about her, then after, oh yeah, and she smoked weed too. It was just like, I don't feel like this was by design. I mean, she smoked weed.
I mean, I feel like okay, I ain't mad at the rule, but I feel like it just came really convenient because it just seemed like they got they're taking something out on like the girl threw the hammer, the black girl threw the hammer, and she came in like third place, but she didn't acknowledge when they played their anthem or the flag or something like that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden that became the talking point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like with her drug test, that's something that was standard. You know, that so I don't really feel like that was some type of marketing ploy or anything like that. It did come at a bad timing for her and her career, but it was a standard test. Everybody has to get tested. You know, they test them often. So, and a lot of people were clowning her, talking about, well, why you ain't go to GNC? They don't understand that this is Olympic.
Nigga, GNC is not fucking with Olympic level.
Right.
They swabbing your mouth. They touching your hair.
They finding that marijuana. Okay, they gonna find it. So I really feel like there was just no way around it other than just to not smoke. Period. That's the only way she could have got out of this. Just don't smoke. And she smoked. She admitted to it. It is what it is. I feel like that it wasn't. I don't feel like it was marketing. A marketing ploy. I really don't. How about you?
Nah, I don't think. You know, I mean, anything's possible. I won't say it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely. I just think, a young lady was going through something, and she wanted to fire up a J.
It sounds a little positive. I think the sage.
The stage.
I'm just saying, I've been in those dark places before, I made some bad decisions.
Oh, look, it's stages work.
But we all make mistakes, and
next week we don't bring that shit. It's gonna be extra ratchet.
Right. I might need to leave that.
You done fucked up right now. You guys bring that shit every week, man. It's gonna come back 10 times strong.
See, I told you.
But yeah, it's sad. Like I say, with the rules that's on the books, and some of the thought process that was back in the day of the whole negative stuff about marijuana. That's another thing that trips me out because, marijuana was excuse me, was what they used back in the colonial times for medicines, hemp. They made it for clothes, paper, all types of stuff, but it has the, that connotation once you decide to smoke it. Oh, you're a reefer head, you're a criminal, this and that. It's a plant. That's it. Make you feel good, make you chill out, releases, gives anxiety relief. It's also, good for stomach issues and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why, I've used it because it definitely helps with that. Yeah, because I have a lot of stomach issues.
Right? You have stomach issues, that's why you use it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's good for muscle legs.
You'll believe that shit.
Well, I mean, it's a pleasant byproduct. It kind of helps soothe the soul.
And honestly, now like I feel like I think CBD is like something that's really pushed now.
It is.
And it's actually effective.
So the tables are starting to turn.
Now, real talk, I remember we did a show and my man G messed his ankle playing ball. And he used some hemp oil for some hemp cream, and they got him through the show.
Yeah. And like I said,
it was actually with better than Icy.
And when I was with a previous employer, not the same one that CP3 and I worked for, but
don't say the trigger word.
Yeah, but it kind of sort of is a trigger for me, this particular place of employment. But we would get calls because we have very strict, drug policy, and we would get calls from people because CBD is a thing now.
Yeah.
And they're like, I use CBD cream. Am I okay? And it's like, no, you're fine. Like we had to tell them that because they thought they were violating the policy, but the government has so graciously decided they were going to separate the two, the THC from the CBD. But so I feel like it's CBD is of course widely acknowledged, and so they do see the benefits. So that's a good thing, and they have separated what makes you high and what kind of heals. So I don't know. We're having a lot of progress, but I am shocked though that since our last show, the CP3 has not mentioned the fact that as of July 1st, the state of Virginia, which was a big deal, has decided to legalize.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is what it is. So if you get caught with a certain amount,
right,
you will not be charged.
Correct.
Which if you caught with over that amount, they will charge you with $25.
Yeah, that's how it started in DC
and Maryland.
Yeah.
Over a certain amount, Virginia. If you go over an ounce. Is it? You won't get arrested, but they'll charge you. You'll pay a fine. So it's legal to smoke up to a certain.
Right.
Oh,
but the fact that Virginia, okay, which is considered a southern state, and we know how the southern states have been in regards to marijuana. The fact that Virginia has now allowed.
So I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with Virginia. And mark my words. If you want to make an investment, this is the biggest investment you can make. Start a CBD company.
Yeah.
Start or distillery. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna probably create a distillery where you can buy like a certain amount. I know when we first came legal in DC, they had little tricks around getting it. Like you can buy you mean
dispensary?
Dispensary and stuff. Like you would buy some socks to get the amount that you want for the price of the socks.
Oh no, PC like they were selling stickers.
Yeah.
Stickers were $25 and you get a free gift.
Yes. There was some socks, there was some
it's ways around everything.
So
it was hilarious.
I think that's what's gonna be the that in the coming year, that's what's gonna be the big thing in the end.
Because the tax revenue alone that they get off of it. Just look at Colorado.
Colorado making
when they
money.
went legal, they have enough money to, give their teachers raises. They've got the infrastructure great. Crime is down. Everybody high. You can't. You don't get violent when you high, man. That's why.
Not true.
I mean, some people,
Crime is
yeah.
not down in DC.
Well, because niggas smoking that K2 bullshit, they ain't smoking real weed.
But DC still has a lot of stipulations. A lot of people don't understand that. Yes, it's legal in DC
because it's federal still under DC.
But there are a lot of stipulations for DC. Like you can grow your own stuff and have your,
Yeah, well, I did that. It used to say a weed in the C community, but then I know the cop came through and the dude was doing something. He's like, "Yo, don't think I still can't arrest you for that." Like,
right, but because it depends on how much you have.
Yes, that's what he's telling to do.
But in reference to selling it, you can't sell it technically.
Yeah.
That's why people that is not. Okay, never mind. We gonna keep going. But
people like,
let me go on my bag, man. Shit.
But you definitely in DC, that's where they came up with. They were very creative. They are very creative.
That's gonna happen here.
Yeah, and then but see, here's the funny thing. So DC, right after they did that, 1 million pop-ups. 1 million pop-ups. Police were constantly shutting them down.
Yes, they were.
And one of my friends said, "Come with me to this pop-up," but I didn't know what kind of pop-up. Okay,
you thought pull up.
No, I thought he was like, "Come on with me to this pop-up," and I was like, "All right, whatever." I'm not a smoker. He knows that. But we went in and I was like, "Wait, is this legal?" Like they were cooking and like tacos, right? And it smelled real good. I was like, "Oh," but look, I was like, "Oh, my body." He's like, "No." I was like, "What? They got stuff in it?" He was like, "Yeah, everything there." Couldn't have nothing in it.
Yeah,
he had nothing. I couldn't eat ice cream.
I could imagine.
I couldn't have juice.
You eat a taco and your legs floating through that mouth.
I was like, I'm glad you said something. I was like, oh my God.
You'd have never been the same.
I couldn't have nothing in there. Okay?
Oh, shit.
And the stuff that I saw, this is amazing. They put stuff in here. What? They had little stuff that you drop in, like that. Those the things that flavor your water.
Mm-hmm.
They had those. Yeah. It flavored your water, but it put other things. I was amazed.
I can see you at work. I just had some flavor.
I never had infused food, but that shit be smelling good.
It smelled really good, but they seasoned it just like because I feel like how people apparently can really season their food really well, especially tacos. So it's like a hot food, and they was in there cooking. I was like, man, that smells so good. And
you get in the zone, man. You just be putting all the different stuff together.
Yeah. So according to Jamel with VA, you can grow up to 4 plants in your home.
Mm-hmm.
That's crucial.
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
Right. And they're doing what DC did, as far as what they allow, and they're kind of doing what Maryland did as far as what they're gonna lock you up for.
Yeah. So I think it's honestly it's very creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity for a lot of people to do different things. Like this is if you willing to start a business, this is start a dispensary. Now the funny thing is, and Renegade can tell you, our level of dispensary out here versus dispensary in Cali.
I've been to Cali, yes.
So
Cali is not a game.
Like Cali is on some Secret Service shit. So Cali, we walked into a motherfucking joint. Nigga, you got first of all the building look run down. Like real talk. And it look like you about to get robbed in this motherfucker. So we walk in, I'm like, nigga, I'm hurt.
Where do you have me?
First of all, I'm a non-smoker, so I'm really paranoid. Like,
I've been there, the non-smoker in a California dispensary.
So these niggas take our ID, and then when you these niggas open up the back cage door.
Yep, and it's a whole different world.
And then this shit goes from, nigga, you go from the hood to Beverly Hills in like 3 seconds. And these niggas got state-of-the-art shit.
Yep.
Surveillance. These niggas got strands I ain't never fucking heard of. These niggas got infusion. These niggas
everything.
Yo, we go from the low budget thug at the door to Hi, how may I help you? What do you need? This. One joint had his own fucking dispensary in the back. Like growing shit. Like real. I was like, God damn.
And they so nice and sweet.
Yes.
Because when me and my sister went in one, and the guy was like, I think I called. This was before COVID. I called. And he said, hey, it's some cough drops. And it was like in a, pack. I didn't even look at them. My sister snatched them out of my hand. She said, give me those. I said, what? She said,
not for you.
She said, look at it. And I looked, and it was cough drops, all right. There was some cough drops, all right. And it's so funny because they had like cookies out on a platter and stuff. And they were like, oh, yeah, go sit in the lounge, just some cookies and juice and stuff there.
Yeah, so fuck your life.
But no, I said to my sister, I said, what's in the cookies? And she was like, I don't know. So we asked somebody. It was like, oh, no, those aren't infused. I was like, okay, thank you. Because I was a little parched because it was hot and the juice wasn't infused, nothing. But, that was better than that pop-up that I went to. I couldn't do nothing.
Man, let me just tell you, them motherfuckers that, these niggas, you walk in the hood in the back, nigga, RoboCop in the exit. These niggas stay, it's like walking through Starship Enterprise. These niggas will have, like, it just be crazy as shit. And then what was real cool about it, there was an app. I don't know the name of the app, but we was going to do an app. And you can just own the different joints.
Yeah.
They got that shit together. But some of the places you walk in, we look at each other like, what the fuck? Nigga, you gotta get this shit don't look right.
That's how it was. When we went.
That's my second time. I was there when California
first we came.
Before actually, so you had to get a medical card.
Yeah, I remember you paid.
Yeah, Cali was the first place to get one.
You paid money to get a medical card.
So real quick, before we wind this down. So Urkel has his own strand of Purple Urkel.
Purple Urkel.
With Snoop Dogg.
And here's the thing.
And he got dressed up like Urkel.
Mike Tyson gave it the seal of approval. And he has his own.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, he making a killing.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah, but he
Mike Tyson got most of his money back from folks. So he's not from us.
Yeah, no. But he definitely, So he has his own. And then Method Man came out with Tikal.
Yeah. And then Snoop has his own.
Yeah, but we knew Method Man was gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really?
Why not?
It's Tikal. Like, what? I mean, I'm surprised he wasn't the first one. He should have been ready to go.
No, I knew Snoop was gonna be the first.
Yeah. But okay, well, Method Man should have been the second. I mean, it's Tikal. Like,
technically, it should have been Snoop. It should have been Redman. Then Method Man.
Redman and Method Man together.
Okay, we get it.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because, and honestly, if you watch the verses, Method Man and Redman, he definitely pushed Tikal.
Yeah.
That night, it had like this case. I don't even
smoke
weed, but that case, I wanted.
That case was vicious.
I'm about to put all kinds of stuff in the case. I mean, it ain't gonna be weed, but I'm gonna put something in it. I'll be like, you want this weed that came with my case?
No, I don't, but I know two people that do.
Right. But I mean, Method Man got merch for it too, which, again, I want the merch. It's Tikal.
Yeah, definitely. That album, it wasn't a classic. It was a good album. I wouldn't ever say a classic.
I think it was a classic because one of his biggest songs was on that album.
Oh, that I need?
Yeah. No, it wasn't the version with Mary, but man, real talk, I had the tape. Don't know what the tape is, and I have a record player, and I actually bought the special edition Tikal.
I didn't buy the special. Tikal was good, but
no, that was more recent years. I bought the vinyl.
But I was always more of a Redman fan than.
Okay.
And in my opinion, and how high. God bless John Brown. That's my cousin that passed away. He was a Method Man fan. I was a Redman fan, and we also argued who was the best. And the answer came in how high. That verse we already know. That Mad Night, they both found their ass
I'm a Method Man fan, so.
But Redman got that nigga in that.
I thought you were talking about the movie.
Nah, he's talking about
I was thinking about the movie.
Talking about the song that came before the
But,
goddamn
Hey,
movie.
man, the movie was
yeah,
the movie was hilarious,
You
man.
say how so you care about
The movie was
Like
hilarious,
the
man.
movie, yep.
Hey, cause
nigga forgot there was a song.
I damn
way
sure
before the
did.
movie.
Hey, man.
Because the movie spoke to him.
I
Yeah,
mean,
bet it did.
the movie is, if you have the DVD, watch it with the commentary on, because Redman and Method Man
Yeah.
talk throughout the whole joint,
Yeah.
and the commentary is more funny than the fucking movie. me and my little,
Probably high.
yeah, me and my little cousin used to just watch it. Yes, so.
Afro man.
But
ass
when
nigga
they
said
did,
that.
when they recorded the commentary, you can imagine how it
they was fried. They was coughing during the joint. they wasn't.
So you clearly knew what
Yeah,
they
so play if you have it on DVD.
That's why you reminisce.
Hey, me and my little cousin used to watch that joint like every day for like
I
a
was
week.
watching this with your little cousin.
I mean, he was in his 20s, but he was still little compared to me.
21?
Yeah, he was legal.
You sure?
He had more than I had.
Nigga, you are the corrupter.
Hey, nah, he was already chiefing before I even started hanging with him.
You
We
sure
just-
about that?
Yeah, we just bonded over. He was like, "Oh, for real, you do? All right, come on over."
You know, I know a lot of people that became friends
Mm-hmm.
over cannabis.
Yeah, it brings people together.
I definitely know. Like people you wouldn't think would become friends
Mm-hmm.
became friends because they're both smokers.
It's a community
I mean, the
drug.
first thing is I've always hung around people that smoke.
Mhm.
And funny shit I always tell people is I remember I was in a cypher, we was rhyming, and I had a nigga that told me the next day was like, "Dog, smoke last night." I didn't smoke. I passed you the blunt. I said, "Nigga, I passed somebody else the blunt."
Right.
I told you I don't smoke.
Yeah.
That does not mean if you pass me, nigga, I just grab the weed
And
was
pass
like
it.
that.
Yeah. Let me be real with you. As a fellow non-smoker, I get passed the blunt often, and I'm like, yeah. You're in the rotation. That's how they feel.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
mean-
too high to realize that you didn't smoke.
The funny thing is, I remember I used to ride about my cousin John and decided he was too high. He would say this himself. He'd be like, "Dog, we'd be just driving," and then he'd be like, he'll pass me the blunt. He'd be like, "You the one that don't smoke."
You the one.
He's like, "Nigga, I'm high."
That's how that shit be. It's just natural. You just
Because
naturally.
people always think, because if you're friends with a lot of smokers, they do think
They
that,
think that,
yeah.
But think of it. We used to be a 4-man group, nigga. I'm the only nigga that don't smoke.
Mhm.
So and then I rap. So everybody assumed because I rap, I smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also
And
being a generous smoker. Also, you always just be.
Well,
like,
but that's
"Oh,
the culture,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a generous smoker. I'm a generous drinker. Nigga, I will get you fucked up
Yeah.
in real life. Now, keep in mind, though, if you drink what I drink,
Why you looking like that?
Mhm.
Like he looked like he felt some kind of way when you said that. But
Yeah, because
If
if
you-
you drink with him, you're gonna be fucked up.
I can't remember. I don't know what you're talking
I think you're prejudging me, sir. I mean, if you drink
Experience, motherfucker. What you talking about prejudging you? This shit didn't happen. Ain't nothing pre about this
about. You
shit.
sound like somebody.
Talk
Well,
about
drink-
prejudging.
Well, drink with me then.
I'm about to get another drink now. Shit.
it was
Okay.
one time with
Since he the bad one, drink with me.
CP3.
Both
It
of
was
y'all
one
the
time.
same.
I told you it was 151 in the drink.
No, you said I thought you was saying it was in your cup, not in the whole fucking bottle.
That's because you was hot.
No, that's because I didn't get clarification. I know how to do
told
that
you I
now.
poured it in the bottle.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. All I saw,
heard
he
it.
was pouring his
Hold on.
drink, and it was like, yeah, I got
But I
151 and
heard it.
Jim Beam mixed together.
You was.
I'm
hot.
thinking
You
he
must
was
have been
mixing it in
high.
his cup as
You
he
must
was
have been
pouring it
high.
in
So,
there.
Lady Antoinette, you heard it though, right?
I did.
Okay.
I didn't know that I missed the part where
For
it said
some
in the
reason,
bottle.
when you start talking, I don't know if you peeped this, but the smoke from the stage started getting real thick. And I'm like, what is this to the stage? It's been a
But
minute since I had.
it's by you though.
Right, okay, but
Yeah.
soon as you started talking,
But
Yeah.
you
So-
closest to it.
So CP3,
I burn sage all the time. of day.
I am a generous drinker. I will always share
Mhm.
my drink. However, it is at your own risk if you partake in some of my
That's why
drinks.
I listen now. I don't
Because
make that
some of my
mistake.
drinks, not all my drinks are 10%. A lot of my drinks are 100% alcohol, 70% alcohol. I like strong shit. My
Mhm.
name is 151,
But see, for me,
not H2O.
It
for
happened
me,
one
I
at
am
one time.
known to fix you a drink, and you be like, "Oh, it tastes good. Oh, but it ain't strong, but it is."
Hmm.
Y'all had my cherries. Think about that.
I drink
Yeah, them
my
cherries
stuff
still
straight.
over there.
So You know, I drink my stuff
Why
straight.
y'all want to
So.
eat the cherries?
Them cherries.
And then sitting in that
Cherries will
moonshine
put you
too.
out.
Let me tell you something. When I find the right girl, them cherries.
He about to say, "Here, taste one of these."
Taste one of these, and
It's over.
you might not even. I might text y'all. We ain't doing the show today. I'm still in bed.
And see, this one right here, he need to stop being afraid of the cherries.
No, because then he might have more kids.
He right.
Hey.
He said,
You know,
"Yeah."
I'm gonna put that cherry. I'm gonna put them cherries somewhere else.
So you got.
Nah, that I know of. I was talking about the cherries. I wasn't talking about kids.
No, you said yeah.
I was gonna put the cherries somewhere else.
Okay, regardless, if you eat them, guess what?
Yeah, I get fucked up off of that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, depending on where they at.
This sage is burning real heavy right now.
So ladies, before we even get up out of here, so for some reason I was playing around today, and I went on Invicta.com.
I'm not pitching out that big.
No, I had to get up that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I seen the word sale, and it was like this. I was like, you know what? I ain't playing with these niggas no more. These niggas is really coming.
Y'all know I think I wore it last week. I bought another watch. Didn't I wear it last week?
I think you did.
Yeah, I have it. It's a woman's watch.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's the Angel collection. That's beautiful.
So I just paid off all my watches, but now I want another watch.
Yes.
And then the crazy thing is, I just got the other one from Amazon. So
I want to see it. Did you get it already?
I showed you the black jump.
Oh, okay. Because I told you, Amazon got me with the okie doke.
No, it's about the same size.
Yeah, but no, with the one they got that I had, I was like, wait a minute, is this a man's watch? What is this? Like, I didn't know what it was. But
now Invicta keeps coming up on my Amazon.
Yeah.
Now I'll be on YouTube. Invicta's stalking me. Then they were stalking me on Facebook.
Yeah, or IG. I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, they hit me on IG too.
They hit me on IG. I was like, oh my god.
But I do like their watches though. My next one is probably going to be something very. I like the colorful one that Thomas had on.
Yeah.
So I think I like that.
Shout out to Thomas.
Shout out to Thomas.
That's our Invicta
dealer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back out there soon, man.
And my next one is the one that I was trying to steal from CP3. They have a woman's version and it's rose gold. The face is rose gold. I'm gonna get that one next.
Oh yeah, it's time to set that game up.
Oh yeah.
So
I think that's not the one though. So it's all you safe today.
I like
two-tone on.
You bring the chain out today?
Nah, I ain't.
You got the bracelet on.
I got the bracelet. I got the shield bracelet.
He fancy.
You know.
Look at it. Look at it.
Doing a little something. You know, trying to get a little fancy.
I noticed that he got the watches on his car game.
Yeah, you know, I've been wearing my watches to work. You know, I had the all gold the other day.
And you getting them sales, huh?
Hey, you know, a little something.
You busting some watches real lucky, huh?
You know, just have,
We get past that word. They need you as the spokesperson, huh?
That's I told you we're gonna get that sponsorship, man.
There you go. We need
right.
Thomas.
Real quick before I if I get another guest for next week. Will you get your girl Shawnee to come back next week?
I'll definitely talk to her. I'll talk to her because I need to sing her praises for some of her products.
Okay, we definitely have to get her back. She was always fun. Man,
Sean, I love her. I love Sean.
Last week's show was very fun, but it was fucking 4 hours.
I thought it was 5. You sure it's not?
We were close.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you merge 2
shows,
podcasts together. You know, so they had it's kind of the same makeup. You know, 2 guys, 1 female. You got the one that's thotting in these streets, and you got the we thotting in these streets, and then you got the older. I'm just gonna chill. You know.
I didn't realize that. It's almost the same.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. You had a little bit of drink, huh? Yeah. But we acknowledged that it was mirrored, you know. And the one thing I said to her, I was like, you know what? I feel for you because their situation. Imagine if me and CP3 were roommates. Oh my God.
I would say that you probably could.
I would agree.
Yeah, I be chill, man. I be chill.
Because you be having family night and he will come home with a stripper.
She wouldn't do nothing strippers till we got into the room. And like she'd just drop it like it's hot in the living room.
She a stripper.
First of all, the minute she walk in the door, then the answer that would be like,
like, why we judging strippers?
We was at
I smell dollars in vagina.
We were at a family fun day for work, and guess what?
Strippers need to cook our food too.
What she was when she walked in.
Strippers need to cook our food too. Well, they can't go to the cookout. Hey, people like, hey, we had people putting crabs in their damn bag just because they ain't say it like that. They was still doing the same shit.
Yeah, but she was. I was like, oh my god.
Nevertheless, it was a fun show.
Hey, man. She was a good girl, man.
Oh, that night.
Yeah, that month.
What's her name?
You don't remember. He said she was a good girl that month, but however, you don't remember her name. But you had her around your nieces.
So you know how long ago that was?
Pretending that y'all was a family.
Never nobody pretended. I just needed somebody to take them to the. Cause I needed somebody to take them to the bathroom in case they had to go, so I didn't want to have to sleep bad.
Oh my god.
Hey man.
That's terrible.
What was her name?
Dang, you don't even remember her name.
You know how long ago that was?
You had a whole picture with this girl.
I still got the picture. I still got the picture. I found the picture. I still got the picture. My niece was like, well, I think one of them was 3 and one of them was 1.
Imagine my face and me trying to behave when they said they came over to take their little picture. I was like, oh my god. I was like, hey,
man.
Y'all smile.
Hey, she was cool, man. She was cool. She can do tricks and everything. Yeah, we chilled out for about a month. She was a Cowboys fan.
What, for real?
I've broken up with a couple chicks that was a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. I know. Watching the football team and Cowboys fans have gotten married.
Yeah, right. I don't know how they do it. Well, it depends on the fan. See, the only reason why I mean, because I don't talk shit. She like to talk shit.
You don't talk shit?
Nah, unless somebody talks to me, then I talk shit. But when I'm watching the game, I'm zoned in on the game, looking at it from the coach's perspective. So the game was at 8 o'clock that night. She's over my house like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and she's talking shit from as soon as she gets there. So I'm like, about hour 3.
And your team, I'm gonna be real because I'm a fan as well. They wasn't doing good at that time.
The game wasn't even on.
But no, I'm saying that would make you mad.
Who won the game?
They probably that was.
She didn't even make it to the game came on because I told her I was like, I put people out for less than talking shit on the game.
Right, but did they lose? I don't
remember. She was gone. She was gone by 4 o'clock.
Nigga, did you kick her out before the game?
I didn't technically kick her out. I didn't technically. I just told her I've put people out for talking too much shit during the game in my house. She's like, oh, well, if that's what you're saying, I can go ahead and go now. I was like, all right.
Right, because she could have just went to the strip
club. So you broke
money.
up with her.
I mean, I ain't see her after that. I didn't call her. She ain't called me. So I was like, fuck it. My other girlfriend, she was a Cowboys fan.
Other girlfriend.
Yeah, she was a good Cowboys fan. That shit didn't work out. Nah, this was the one I was with for. Now this is the one I was with for 6. No, this is what I was with for 6 years. That was the one that I was surprised it lasted that long. But yeah. I asked I got a couple of folks that's Cowboys and Redskins fans and married. I asked them how y'all do it. But most of them, if they chill, I can do it if you chill. But if you talking shit all the time, like I don't feel like hearing that. Even when we win, I don't talk shit. So I'm like,
no, because you don't talk shit, you don't think she should talk shit.
I mean, you can talk shit. It just depends on how you talking shit. I'm like, if you being belligerent and just cussing and shit, like I don't want to hear that shit.
You don't want her to cuss like you cuss.
I'm like, fuck your team. And I'm like, the game ain't even on. What the fuck? I understand the game. When the game is on, if I'm talking shit with somebody, yeah, but they started talking shit first. When I'm watching football, I'm diagnosing the game. I'm not looking at it just as a fan. That's why I say I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan because I'm looking at it from a coach's perspective also. Because when I used to write about the game, I would break down the game. So I look at it differently. So I don't get, as into it as most folks. When I look back and I record it and go back and look at it again when I'm breaking down tape, that's a different story. So I just don't like people talking shit.
Do I need to research the day that y'all broke up? Because this was 2009, right?
Yeah, this was...
It was like 2009 or 9. It was 9. Not 8. I don't think it was.
No, because I was with... that's when I had a girlfriend in 2009, so it wasn't
2008?
It might have been before.
I thought it was 9, but all right. It might have been 8.
Oh, it might have been
Because I left in 2010.
So it might have been 7 or 8. Like I was saying, I was going through a stripper phase. Then.
So stripper life. What you got going on this week?
Like I said, we're probably taking off for Sports on the Hill for the holiday for tomorrow. Robbie's still on vacation. He should be back next week. We'll break down the Nats. Unfortunately, like I said, they got swept by the Dodgers this weekend series. Hopefully, they can rebound next week. We'll also be talking some Washington football team and working on and getting in the day schedule for me and Dujanet to break down the drafted players, the free agent acquisitions, and the schedule. It's probably going to be a Thursday coming up soon, so stay tuned. I'll post the date for that once we can get coordinated with our schedules. We'll also be talking the NBA Finals and try to get some WNBA in. We haven't talked any Mystics this season yet, so we're going to try to get the ladies included also. And also,
right.
Yeah, I believe we still have press credentials, but because I've been working so much, I haven't had a chance to check out any of the games live. And I'm down at 2450 Crane Highway, Waldorf, Honda. If you're looking for a new user pre-owned certified vehicle, come holler at your boy, because I'm going to get that deal done for you. Things are a little tight right now on the car shortage, but we do have the most Hondas in the area right now. So if you're looking for that Accord, that Civic, the CRV, come holler at us. We ain't got no Odysseys right now. Minivans are the premium for some reason, but that's all I got going
people
on.
Making all these babies in COVID.
Yeah, that's true too. I ain't made no babies though.
Jamil Wanza says Seahawks.
But real talk, Russell be doing his thing. They locked him down. They're like, oh, you was trying to leave? Oh, here's his money. Take it.
I'm more invested in his wife. I'm still mad he married Sierra. That was my.
How you mad that he married Sierra?
I still had a shot, man.
You did not.
Don't be shooting down my dreams, man. Shit.
Nigga, you big bad one?
Yeah, we all got dreams, man.
Oh shit!
When she started dealing with Future, he was happy.
So we gotta talk about the before we end the evening.
Bow Wow.
Not even that.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say.
So did you watch the verses between Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat?
I watched part of the yeah.
That means I know.
Talk about it before the air. We got on air. I didn't see a lot of people comment that show. I heard Keith Sweat,
got drunk.
One.
Oh, okay.
That too. Bobby wasn't really singing live, and when Bobby did, I heard
Bobby can't sing no more. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, I heard some of when he was singing along with his stuff,
and
he did sound like DMX.
Well, here's the thing. Bobby was just on The Masked Singer. Okay, he was on The Masked Singer, and his first performance. I want to say he did a Bill Withers song, and he actually did well with that. After that, he sounded horrible. I knew it was Bobby Brown. You could tell in the voice. You could still tell it was still Bobby Brown, but it was horrible. And he got voted off. But I felt like he was trying so hard to make a comeback.
Well, I remember Bobby when he did the several years ago. He was on Celebrity Fit Club.
Yeah.
And he'd be a perfect gift for the bar because he was getting fucked up right then.
Yeah. And he still do.
Yeah. And I think between the cigarettes, the alcohol, and the drugs have taken toll on
his voice,
on a tremendous talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get it because it was for the culture. But
it was.
It wasn't.
And Versus wasn't originally about you singing.
Yeah.
It was play your music.
Yeah.
Play your music. So.
And I think they should have stuck to that format.
For this.
Yeah.
But Keith can still belt out his stuff.
Keith still tours.
Yeah.
Keith was just at the MGM about a year and a half ago.
Keith also, during COVID, put on performances and concerts, not just of himself, but other people. Yeah. Like he had last year for Mother's Day, it was Boyz II Men and Silk or something like that. He has like his own studio in the house, and he's Keith Sweat. He got his own studio, like a stage and everything, and he put on these concerts. So he's like still in the game. He's still healthy. But I saw Bobby probably, let me see, I was still married. So maybe about 15, 16 years ago. No, it had been like maybe 13 years ago. 13 years ago, I saw heads of state. That's what they called themselves at that time. It was Bobby, Ralph Tresvant, and Johnny Gill.
Johnny Gill.
Bobby was hands on outdoors, bless his heart. He thought that he was Bobby back in the day with his singing. He tried to sing Girlfriend, horrible. Girlfriend, of course, for those who don't know, was a song that he had very, very early in his career. His voice was different. Okay, he had a higher pitched voice. So hitting those high notes as grown Bobby, who I've been on drugs for all these years and smoking and drinking, not the same.
Not the same.
And it may not be anyway because he's a grown man now, but then he also thought that he was Bobby from back in the day as far as his body. He had a man girdle on, and the reason why I know he had a man girdle on is because while he was performing, he did what he used to do back in the day. Remember, he used to lift his shirt to show his abs.
Yeah.
He did that, and he exposed his man girdle, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, he was gone because he was making fun of Johnny and Ralph while they were singing. Like he was like behind them, you know, mocking them and stuff like that.
Well, you gotta think about it. When they did the New Edition movie, Bill Big DeVoe and Bobby Brown, because they were fighting over the New Edition name.
Yeah.
Want to go back on tour.
And they did tour for a little bit.
Yeah, they just sort of disappeared.
Yeah.
Like no one talked about it.
Because well, we saw in the movie why, you know. And real talk, we talk about Bobby because Bobby was on that stuff, but we did not know until that. A lot of people did not know until that movie that Ricky.
Yeah, you could tell Ricky.
Nah, not like at that level. Ricky was on drugs worse than Bobby.
Look at his nose. Look at his nose.
Shut up.
He had that. He had that. Hey, man. He had that. Dog. He looked like he could sniff some shit up, dog.
Man, that don't mean just because his nose is big don't mean he actually was doing it.
From Boston.
When I saw that movie, I was like, oh my god, not Ricky. Yes, Ricky.
Probably sniffing lines off of prostitutes'
but
ass.
But Ricky can still sing.
Yes.
So it ain't mess with his voice.
So,
Bobby was smoking crack though, sniffing coke and smoking crack.
But Ricky was whoa. You might want to go back and watch that.
No,
yo, what's that you said? Jamel said Bobby was on the road with Big DeVoe, and then he sat on the stool while Ronnie DeVoe did the dance. I think it was like, I'm tired. I'm motherfucking tired.
And Ronnie be getting it. So yeah, Ronnie make me look tired now.
He should be, because I ain't never heard Ronnie sing a song.
Yeah. Well, no. Did you ever see? Okay, I love me some Ronnie DeVoe. I'm gonna be real with you. I love me some Ronnie DeVoe, but he did that song with his wife. Cause you know his wife is a singer. She's a '90s singer too. Yeah, she's part of 702. Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
702.
Oh.
I might be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but she was part of one of the girl groups.
Yeah, I like you to like 702.
But yeah, she
Not good.
Well, the song was horrible.
It's not to say.
Like I felt like I was being punked, but they performed it on somebody's morning show, and it was just that bad.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it was like 9.
Negative what? You said negative something? Okay, because it was bad. It was embarrassing.
Jamel said somebody from En Vogue that he was married to.
No, he's not. No, not En Vogue. It's one of them. It's definitely not En Vogue. Ronnie is married to. God, what is her name?
Cindy Haram from En Vogue? Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Don't say that. You break my heart. Don't say shit like that.
Not married.
No, not Cindy from En Vogue. No. She married that nigga. Chance.
Shamari Fierce. They got married in 2006.
Oh, Shamari.
Shamari, she was the R&B singer for Black. That's what it was.
Oh, Black. Okay.
The one that
Lisa. It was like a fake up version of TLC.
Yeah, well, Lisa Lopez
and one of the girls
started that group.
Yeah, one of the girls
passed away.
She got about a car. I think she was like corrupt baby mom when he was dating her at the time.
Mm-hmm. And then the two girls, they still tried to, you know, carry on, but it wasn't successful in that.
All right.
But yeah, so I knew it was 702 would have been a better bet, but you know, Black is they had 808.
Yeah, I used to fuck with 702.
Yeah.
They had the boom like an
808. Yeah. So, all right. So this is winded down.
Mm-hmm.
If you get Shawnee in here next week, that'd be
I'm
great.
gonna talk to him and reach out.
And then I'm still gotta reach out to my boy. I was trying to get him. I did give him like 2 weeks notice, so it'll probably be after we come back to Miami. So maybe in August. But he's I just want one of my boy Kite. He does black. He's a black real estate guy.
Okay.
So we definitely want to talk about black ownership and owning businesses and homes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll continue with this, always interesting topics and let's keep reaching out. We're gonna find that kid.
Hey man.
So are you gonna look for him if you go to Florida?
I'm looking for something. I'm gonna be looking for a kid.
Whoa. That's important. That's your legacy.
I sent out a post on Facebook saying I'm in Miami, so if they want to come find me, I'll be.
Girl gonna be on your Facebook. She might.
My page is public. Anybody.
Wait, but did she ever know your real name?
My number linked to my page.
How can she find you if she don't know your real name?
She can look me through my
Because here's
number.
the thing.
My number's still the same.
Take this for instance. Okay, so he brought her to a family fun day cookout. The one girl, right? But not only did that girl, I'm sure she know his real name, but not only did she probably not know, but all the employees that were there, for the most part, they didn't know his name either. I think only like 3 people in the building, and I was one of them, knew his real name.
That's sad.
How is that sad?
And the only other 2, no, maybe 4.
It was like maybe 6 people that knew my real name.
Because, so me,
only because my dad.
3 of the people.
Wait a minute.
3 of the people knew his name because of payroll reasons.
Yeah.
So if 6 people knew,
3 of them was going to.
So I do know how many employees were at the.
All of them, everybody was there.
No. What's the count?
Oh shit! The cookout.
Yeah,
No. What's the count of the number of people that work
out of that building?
Yes.
Probably about 200.
Now at that time it was more because we had all those routes. We had administrative staff. We had all the warehouse workers.
Oh yeah, so it's probably about 250.
And the details came to the cookout.
So only 6 people out of like 200 people knew you.
Over 200.
Hey.
Okay.
And the other ones was like HR. They knew my name.
Because as far as the drivers, because I had to do their payroll. I didn't do warehouse. The only reason why I did yours is because you would do stuff for sales.
Yeah.
So I did sales payroll. And I want to say on sales side, we had at that time probably 180 something on sales. That's not including warehouse.
Yeah. So we probably had like another 60. About 40, about 40 or 50 in the warehouse.
No, because you got to think about different shifts and all
that. That was before. That was before we went. That's the only reason. Yeah, he worked there. That's the only reason why they knew. Cause
did you count him as one of the people?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm
But just because his father worked there, don't mean that they knew he was named after his father.
Yeah, they didn't know my name. I kept it that way because I don't need to. What you even know my government name
I'm
for?
trying to tell you.
Where do you work?
I'm trying to tell you.
Why do they know your street name?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be real with you. I did his payroll for a minute before I realized who he was because I asked. I was like, "Who is this?" Because I never saw him come in to bring in his paperwork in my mind, right?
Yeah.
But whole time he was bringing in his paperwork. I just didn't know.
I was already working in the warehouse and working on sales side.
Right, so he was turning in his paperwork, but I'm thinking he coming up to the front doing whatever, and I'm like, I'm always getting his paperwork, but I don't see him bringing it in. I did.
And then she put 2 and 2 together, like, you're Carol, like, yeah.
I was like, who is this?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's Foots. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody, they didn't put it together, man.
You know what, I'm playing the video. I'm done.
That's when you know if they talking shit about you, man. You can find out.
Oh.
They don't know you're talking about the same person. Oh, for real? That nigga did what? For real? All right. That's why I almost fucked somebody for talking about my dad. They ain't know I was his son. Luckily, he made it off the property.
Oh, you finally eating the cherry?
Oh, yeah, it's on the other day.
Shout out to the people who brought us rainy cherries. 63 over here about to be cherry and rum wasted. Did you play Royalty?
Nah, I played him.
Being broke, right? I'm so sick of being to be broke, to be broke. I'm so sick of being broke.
I ain't got nothing else to fucking do.
You said what? Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, you go in the city on 4th of July.
Last night, you was busting off last night.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
I'm in
all 4th of July. Oh,
around the corner from you. They
I know.
was busting off like shit
I
last
heard
night.
I used to live on Southeast. Hey, I used to hate the 4th of July.
I used
no,
to
my
bust
dog
off.
don't like the 4th of July.
My dog don't trip. He don't even give a
Nah, the one. Hold on, you gotta remember where I am in Clinton, okay? They got the ones that shake your house. My dog be like,
Fuck that.
He's like, yeah, I said the same thing.
You know, when I had my other joint, I bust. But that's not what I got now. Fuck that. I ain't wasting my ammunition.
I'm so sick of being broke. The army for some sex, was down a big on text. I bought my best friends, in the flame I do 2 packs. Was thrown out, I can flex. I do it for any nigga who make it out the checks. And I'm down. If you could break it, please don't hit my phone. I'm dealing with it on my own. I'm trying to keep it rich, straight broke nigga, the left take. I'm so tired of that place.
You got man, you got Bob. They got peppers, they got onions on it.
Oh yeah, them bomb. Them joints is bomb
No
too.
product is broke.
Yeah, I know they don't get them joints. They ain't had no big sound, no big joints of sound in the day, so I had to change up. They had a little small little cuts in there. I was like, I can't do nothing with these little motherfuckers. You know who the fuck I am?
And he ain't cooked no pork this week.
I know, I was shocked.
Yeah, I had the bratwurst out.
I was talking trash about you on my way here.
Wow.
Cause I was like, I bet you CP3 got them down.
I was gonna cook the bratwurst, but I ran low on charcoal and I was using some of the wood, and then it started going down. I ain't feel like restarting it, so I was like, fuck it, I'll cook them next week.
You know, because you gonna play a new song.
I played this song earlier. This song with the wood.
You talking about the flex song?
Remember when the song was over? And I was like, why they robbing the nigga?
Mm-hmm.
That's the dude from World Kid attended to.
Oh, okay, got you. That's who I was like that. Wait, is Mr. Woods the one from the Caribbean or the one from? Yeah. But I think he grew up north.
I think so,
Yeah.
Running no killing.
That's what I was saying earlier.
They got the Caribbean bound.
Hey, we gotta holler at your the dude that got the connection with Netflix, man. I still got this idea for a show that I think somebody will pick up.
Oh, you said you got a dude from real estate. We ain't have my dude out there. Y'all ain't read the book either.
Oh shit, we can have one. So we can start looking for August now.
Oh, goodness.
Thank God for the game. So you can say, and that's quite alright. You get that, and it's Friday night. Party, party after party, party together. So come music forever. Work on the weekend, we jam it. Celebration and happy birthday. Work on the weekend, we jam it. Celebration and
Basically. I didn't say August.
That's real shit, though. My cousin sent me a meme. It said white people fireworks July 4th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right? That's not about right. Black people fireworks July 2nd, 10 a.m. till around July 11th, sometime that night. I'll be like, I was out this way the other day. Yeah, I seen that one.
Nice. That's the first time
I seen it. They also got one where she was going like this, but in her hands was the GNC product to clean your system.
How you know you're not on camera?
So I already know I got the video of you playing video.
I guess the sage went out. Sage burnt something serious. Somebody had.
Fuck with you. Beat.
What? The sage? Mm-hmm. Come on. That sound like that is a little better. Didn't you in the show with this before?
Yeah. This is the dude we interviewed Ann.
Yeah. I remember. Cause we remember he was talking real soft, and then when he played the song, I was like, wait a minute.
Same person?
I was like, you sound like you had a lot of pent up stuff going on. He was real chill with us. And we heard that. I said, so you ain't backing down, huh? Yep, there you go. Get that number. Get that number 50. Yep, go back tomorrow.
Go back 3 more times. I don't have to see our nigga again.
Right. Let me get this thing.
Tony, man, too.
Buy us a house.